What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode, and can you believe that Bob Dylan sold his entire catalog? I can't wait to dive more into this, but before I do, my name is Sweet Deed, and thanks so much for coming to my channel. Every Tuesday, I drop a video about the music business or guitar lessons or all kinds of things of that nature, strategy, finance, everything related to music. I'm talking about it right here. So go ahead and click that like button for the YouTube algorithm and consider becoming a subscriber. Whenever I do this, I feel like I'm punching myself like in the face. Anyway, let's get into it. Universal Music just purchased 600 Bob Dylan songs. What? In Bob Dylan's memoir, he makes a mention of his first music publishing deal, and he said that he was given like $100 against future royalties, and at the time that was just all right with him. 58 years later and 600 songs later, he is now perpetually wealthy for generations to come. As if he wasn't already, but this is massive. Now, the official word has not been released, but everyone in the industry is estimating to be around $300 million. So let's do some quick math here. 300 million divided by 600 songs equals $500,000 a song. I mean, this is like fairy tale money. Dylan's catalog is definitely one that's been sought after, and why wouldn't it be? Over 6,000 different artists has covered his songs and re-released them as their own. The man is prolific by any stretch of the imagination, and if you're going to go after a catalog, you might as well go after one like Dylan's. If you follow this channel, just 2 weeks ago, I released a video that talked about holding on to your masters and having control over your artistic career by you fronting the money and putting out your art in the beginning of your career so that you don't give too much of your royalties away in the very beginning. That type of deal could be very critical on the very steep arc of a career if you are able to write a hit song or get any sort of traction with a sync or anything like that. Going on the other side of one's career and thinking about where he is in his time and space, this is probably the smartest thing I think Dylan could have done with his catalog. If you have all of these songs that are super desirable and everybody loves them, you know that when you die, there's going to be a war between your family and how your assets were laid out to be, dispersed amongst your family, the ones you're leaving behind in this life, and potentially companies like Universal that want to sweep in and grab catalogs after, death plus 7 years or whatever the latest incarnation of the copyright laws are. So I think this is extremely smart. It takes the guesswork completely out of all of this and relieves your, future relatives of continuing to handle the fight between the record labels and the rights to your music. Might as well just go ahead and sell your music now, right? And just get that lump sum payment when you're in your 70s, like Dylan, and just move on. Big companies like Universal are always paying attention to what music becomes public domain so they can sweep in and snatch it up. And that doesn't make them bad. It's just the rules. But, they always want to get the cheapest, sort of buy that could then turn them into a profit. And, just going ahead and selling your catalog at Dylan's age, I think he's actually not I think he's like in his 80s now. I think he's like maybe early 80s. I'd have to look. But the truth is that selling it now just makes things so much easier for when you transition to the next life or whatever. Not to mention now all of that cash is liquid and you're able to do a lot of generational wealth moves that can really set up your family for the rest of their lives. Or maybe you take the money and you do something generationally good with it, like provide some sort of grant funding once a year for a variety of people to apply for and to make positive impact and change for generations to come, in that way. Either way, it gives Bob Dylan way more options and probably makes his family a little more at ease knowing that they don't have to continually to knock on anyone's door to try and get royalties every quarter. Just a couple weeks ago, Stevie Nicks, the famed singer from Fleetwood Mac, sold her back catalog as well. Some estimates say that was an $80 million sale for all of the hits that she has. Also, something worth mentioning, there's a company in England called Hipgnosis that has been buying up back catalogs to the tune of over $600 million worth for a variety of artists, such as Rick James, Barry Manilow, Blondie, The Pretenders, and others. So it's very interesting. I mean, all of these artists are sort of on the arc of their career. They're getting towards the later parts in their life, and people are realizing that their music is going to live on beyond their life. I feel like so much music that has happened in the past maybe hasn't lived on to the same way, but a band like Fleetwood Mac, who just hit the charts because of a guy who got on TikTok and wrote like a skateboard with an Ocean Spray bottle, made Dreams chart again for the first time in, I don't know how long, 40 years, I think. So it's, this classic material is still very, very valuable, and people are paying top dollar for it. So to tie in 2 weeks ago's video into this one, in the beginning of your artistic career, it is important for you to hold on to your masters. And if you have a successful career, it might be worth selling at the end of your career. And who knows, that could be your retirement and your kids' retirement and their kids' retirement. Pretty fascinating if you ask me. For this week's Artist of the Day, I was feeling a little bit nostalgic, so I was looking backwards this week rather than forwards, and I just really had a moment and went back and pulled out Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins and realized what an awesome record that was. There's a classic fight between any person who likes the Smashing Pumpkins, what record is the best record, and all the early hardcore fans will say Gish, and some will say Siamese Dream, and some will say Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. And while all three of those are really great, I think for me, I'm a Siamese Dream guy. Yeah. So if you're in the need for a little bit of rock and roll this week, pull out Siamese Dream and give it a spin. To me, it was the beginning of the peak of Billy Corgan's writing. Anyway, that's it for this week. My name is Sweet Deet, and I will see you next week. See you later.